I'd like to welcome everyone to City Hall and to say Happy Pride Week. It's a wonderful occasion for us to be gathered here on the rooftop podium because today we're going to raise the rainbow flag. Yeah. As the City Councillor for Ward 27, yes, let's hear for Ward 27. You're in Ward 27. Home of the Pride Week Festival, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to kick off the summer. We do that every year when we launch Pride Week. This is the official start of the 32nd annual Pride Week in the City of Toronto. The rainbow flag, sometimes called the Freedom Flag, was popularized as a symbol for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, pride, diversity, sexual liberation in San Francisco in 1978. There's a lot of history to this flag. Our rainbow flag being raised symbolizes the communities that we belong to. And some may think that the LGBTQ community is beyond this sort of thing. We've already arrived. We've got our rights. Members of the LGBT family know that Pride Week is not just a party and a time to celebrate, and what a party it is, but it's also a time to demonstrate and to redouble our efforts to achieve true and meaningful equality. Young people are unable to come out of the closet for fear of family and community rejection, and they know that Pride is not just a cultural event, which it certainly is, but it's also a global human rights movement. LGBT seniors, growing old and sometimes alone, being forced to go back into the closet so that they can receive quality long-term care, know that the struggle for equality is still real, and for them, it's a matter of life and death. Let's not forget that this sort of thing is only a dream in many parts of the world, including small towns and socially conservative cities in Canada. Let's not forget that when we raise the rainbow flag in Toronto, a teenager in remote northern Ontario is given a beacon of hope that there is another way of being in this world and that he or she is not alone. The LGBT community is an important, diverse part of our city. In a city where culture flourishes and neighborhoods grow, we have cause to celebrate the harmony in which we coexist. This year, Pride Toronto and the Pride Committee will once again recognize outstanding individuals and groups for their continuing work, either directly in the community or actions that reflect so well upon us. On behalf of City Council, I'd like to acknowledge the following individuals for their contributions. Grand Marshals, the Honourable Laurel Broughton, and MPP for Parkdale High Park, Sherry DeNovo. These two fine individuals, these two fine humanitarians led the way for us this year. And they did so without a court challenge. They did so in the Ontario Legislative Assembly, and we thank them. The honored group is no other than the LGBT Youth Line, who last night held an extraordinary award fundraiser for their community. Thank you to the Youth Line. The Youth Line in so many ways is a lifeline to LGBT teenagers in Ontario. Our honored dyke this year is extra reporter Andrea Houston. Andrea covers the news for the community when oftentimes there is no other voice. Honored dyke group this year is Women's Health in Women's Hands. They have done extraordinary work putting women's reproductive issues, women's sexual health on the map, and we thank them for the work and the quality contributions that they've given to the community. This year's International Grand Marshal is Goran Malektic, and Pride Toronto will be speaking more about his contributions later on. And he is here joining us today. Welcome, Goran, to the City of Toronto. also honored to have Francisco Alvarez and Luca Mona, who are the Pride co-chairs, here on the stage. Thank you very much for your attendance today. And I'd like to acknowledge you for the work that you've done and the leadership that you've shown this community. Also in attendance, and this is a very long list, and I'm pretty sure I'll forget. Oh, here already. We're forgetting folks. I'd like to acknowledge some very special people who are here today. Aside from the folks I've already mentioned, Sherry DeNovo, Lauren Broughton, we also have Kathleen Wynne, Minister of Municipal Affairs, Housing and Aboriginal Affairs, longtime champion of lesbian gay equality. We also have Member of Parliament, Carolyn Bennett, one of my favorite MPs on the Hill. Thank you. Joining us, right behind me to my left, are City Councillors Gord Perks, Mary Frangidakis, Paula Fletcher, Mike Layton. I'm slowing down a little bit. Councillor Josh Matlow, Councillor Chin Lee, Councillor Michael Thompson, who's our Chair of Economic Development, who's a big champion for Pride, as they all are. Councillor John Fillion, Councillor Josh Cole, Councillor Karen Stintz, Councillor Raymond Cho, Councillor Glenda Bearmaker, Councillor Sarah Doucette, Councillor Janet Davis, who's also a proud P-Flag mom, Councillor Jay Robinson, Councillor Peter Milchin, Councillor Frank DeGiorgio, Councillor Paul Ainsley, Councillor Michelle Berardinetti, Councillor Gary Crawford, Councillor and Deputy Mayor Doug Holliday, Speaker of our chambers, Councillor Francis Nunziata, Councillor Mary Margaret McMahon, Councillor Joe Mihevik. I'd also like to call to the stage to read the Mayor's proclamation, Councillor Shelley Carroll.
Thank you on behalf of all of us. I take that applause for that long list. It's hard to read a proclamation in the wind, but we're going to do our best. The Pride Week proclamation is one of many, but not all of them. It's one of many city proclamations that is also translated into Canada's other official language, French. I won't be reading it in French, but I will be presenting it to Francisco and Luca today in both versions. So, without further ado, Pride Week, June 22nd to July 1st. Whereas Toronto's Pride Week is one of our city's largest cultural events, you bet, and it contributes to its economic vitality by attracting thousands of visitors to its parades and week-long celebrations. The people of Toronto have established a caring and compassionate society based on the inherent dignity of all of its members. Toronto's strong, vibrant, and proud queer community is the third largest in North America. Wait a second. Queer Toronto, you can do better than that. We need bigger numbers. Let's be number 2 by next year. But for now, the third largest in North America. And it plays an important part in the rich, diverse fabric of our city and our culture. In a world too often marked by clashes and violence between people who see differences as a reason for conflict, Pride Week provides another opportunity to celebrate the harmony in which we can coexist. Pride Week celebrates the diversity of our city and contributes to raising awareness about discrimination and other barriers that affect employment, affect housing, affect public safety, policing, healthcare, education, and the very recognition of family relationships. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Rob Ford, on behalf of Toronto City Council, of which I think we have quorum, do hereby proclaim June 22nd to July 1st, 2012 as Pride Week in the City of Toronto.